postlight.org, dated February 15, 2019. Landlords were contacted in an effort to get people evicted. See? Get them evicted, make people homeless by getting them evicted. Workplaces were visited in order to get people what? Fired. Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed, football players protesting police brutality, fired. The councilwoman calling cops terrorists. Was she also fired? See, these corrupt people, law enforcement, they follow people around and they get them fired from their jobs. Criminals and killers. $291 views, September 2nd, 2013. They follow me and trying to get me fired.
It was because of issues that were important to him, social justice, and he wanted to show the fact that he didn't like what he was seeing on police brutality.
How can you stand for the national anthem of a nation that preaches and propagates freedom and justice for all, that is so unjust to so many of the people living there?
Many of Kaepernick's colleagues followed suit by taking a knee, and soon kneeling during the anthem became a hotly contested issue.
One player who has yet to find a team is safety Eric Reed, the first player, of course, to kneel alongside Colin Kaepernick, who took to Twitter to indicate that his job status might be impacted by that. Do you think that's the reason he doesn't have a team? Right? These NFL owners and NFL leadership, they should be ashamed of themselves for what's going on with Colin Kaepernick, because this is somebody who did nothing objectively wrong. This is someone who peacefully protested and clearly has the ability to play in the NFL, and there's no other way to look at it than he is being blackballed from the NFL, and I don't think he is ever going to get another chance to play in the NFL, and it's a shame.
We discovered we were working with corrupt officers that were basically criminals with badges. Criminals with badges.
Would you blow the whistle? She did.
My name is Shannon Spalding, and I'm a whistleblower.
What Shannon Spalding and her partner uncovered, or what they went through for coming forward.
She must have been terrified, though, through a lot of this.
She was terrified, and her daughter was terrified. She lost her career.
He says he was beaten by Denver police and the FBI, and now a Denver man is suing them for $10 million. Denver 7 reporter Lance Hernandez talked to the victim. Lance, he had plenty to say about what happened.
He certainly did, Ann. Steve Talley says the police department's shoddy investigation ruined his life. He says he's homeless, hasn't been able to get a job, and hasn't been able to see his kids for 2 years.
It was grossly incompetent at the very least.
Steve Talley says he was home asleep when an officer came to the front door claiming he'd hit Talley's car and asking him to come out and look.
They had flashbang grenades waiting for me that they remote detonated in my face.
After the flashbangs were set off, officers rushed in to handcuff Talley. He says they beat him twice. The second time while he was being held up in handcuffs by 2 other officers.
Consider the story of disabled veteran Sean Worsley. Worsley was arrested in 2016 in Pickens, Alabama for using medical marijuana prescribed for him in Arizona, his home state. Worsley had stopped to buy gas and was accosted by an Alabama police officer. His bail was revoked and he had to travel back to Alabama. Due to court costs and lawyers' fees, he and his wife became homeless.
He brought the case against the FBI to get an injunction against what the FBI was doing. 10 million pages were produced by the government during the 8-year discovery process. The judge told Leonard, Mr. Boudin, you're not going to believe what's in these papers. What was in the papers? Well, it showed that the FBI had infiltrated the organization and had inserted 300 informers as members. It used 1,300 spies to report on them. It had FBI agents visit their landlords to get them evicted, visit their employers to get them fired. It had FBI agents visit their landlords to get them evicted. Visit their employers to get them fired.
Tweet after tweet, Charlotte Councilwoman Luana Mayfield posting even more controversial comments after comparing police officers to terrorists.
Top insurrectionist. This is a problem. This is a real problem. Do you know how many police officers went to the US Capitol and committed an act of domestic terrorism? Do you know how many?
These are a bunch of thugs, and they're terrorists, domestic terrorists.
You know, we have a huge problem because we can't actually trust law enforcement. And even when we've had video of police officers shooting and killing us, they tell stories and lies about it while we can see what actually happened with our own eyes.
Corrupt people in law enforcement a terrorist organization? Or is this just the cops? COPS. Corruption of the policing system. If there are any news media that wants to do a story on me, if there are any civil rights lawyers that want to assist me in suing law enforcement for attacking me, please contact me at 646-535-2124. And please, do not help our terrorists. Remember, the life you save just might be your own.